At the mall Santa event, my 6-year-old son sat on Santa's lap. When Santa asked what he wanted, my son said, "I want my college money back." My aunt took it. My aunt was standing right next to me. She whispered, "He doesn't know what he's saying." But my son kept going. She took the $22,000 Grandpa left me and bought a car. The Santa called security, and when they checked the story, my aunt's face went white. She grabbed my arm. "You put him up to this." I pulled away. "He can read his own bank statements." The security guard looked at me. I looked at my aunt. "Ask who owns the house," I said. Before I get into how this all started, if you enjoy stories like this, subscribing helps me keep sharing them. It means a lot. Now, let me tell you how we got here. The mall was packed. December 20th, 3 days before we'd all gather at my mother's house for Christmas. My son had been asking to see Santa for weeks. I'd avoided it. Not because I didn't want him to have the experience, but because I knew my sister would be there. My sister Lisa and her husband Derek always took their kids to see Santa at this specific mall on this specific weekend. My mother had mentioned it twice. "You should take Ethan. Lisa will be there with the girls. It would be nice for the cousins to see each other." I'd deflected both times. But Ethan had overheard. He'd asked me directly at breakfast that morning, "Mom, can we see Santa today? The one at Riverside Mall." I couldn't say no without explaining why. And I wasn't ready to explain why. Not to a 6-year-old who still believed his aunt loved him. So we went. Let me tell you how we got here. My father died 18 months ago. Heart attack. He was 62. Too young. He'd been the only person in my family who ever really saw me. My mother had always favored Lisa. Lisa was older by 4 years. Lisa was married by 23. Lisa had 2 daughters by 27. Lisa did everything right, according to my mother's definition of right. I got pregnant at 24 with a man I wasn't married to. The man left before Ethan was born. My mother made sure I understood what a disappointment that was. My father never made me feel that way. He was the one who showed up at the hospital when Ethan was born. He was the one who helped me move into my first apartment. He was the one who babysat every Wednesday night so I could finish my accounting degree. When I graduated, he took Ethan and me to dinner. Just the 3 of us. He told me he was proud of me. My mother hadn't come to the graduation. She'd said she had a migraine. My father's will was read 6 weeks after the funeral. My mother, Lisa's husband Derek, and I sat in the attorney's office. The attorney was a man named Howard Brennan. He'd known my father for 30 years. Howard read through the standard provisions. The house went to my mother. Some savings accounts were split. Then he got to the part about Ethan. "To my grandson Ethan Cole, I leave the sum of $22,000 to be held in trust for his education. The trustee of this account shall be his mother, Jennifer Cole, with full discretion over investment and distribution for educational purposes." I remember the exact wording. I'd read it 100 times since. Lisa's face had tightened. "That's more than he left for my girls." Howard had looked at her over his glasses. "Your daughters are named in a separate provision. Each receives $5,000. $5,000? That's it. Your father established 529 accounts for both girls when they were born. Those accounts are not part of the probate estate. The current balances are approximately $18,000 each." Lisa sat back. She didn't say anything else during the reading. But I saw her look at Derek. I saw Derek's jaw set. I knew what they were thinking. Ethan got more. Ethan, the illegitimate grandchild, got more than their legitimate daughters. After the reading, my mother pulled me aside. "You need to be reasonable about this." "Reasonable about what?" "That money. It's going to cause problems. Dad left it to Ethan. I know what your father did. But you have to think about the family. Lisa is upset. It's not fair to her girls." I looked at my mother. I wanted to say a lot of things. I wanted to say that Lisa's girls already had everything. They had 2 parents. They had a house in a good neighborhood. They had family vacations every summer. They had grandparents who showed up to every recital and soccer game. Ethan had me. And now he had $22,000 that his grandfather wanted him to have. Instead I said, "I'm not giving it back." My mother's mouth thinned. "No one's asking you to give it back. But maybe you could consider splitting it, making it even. No. That was the first time I'd ever said no to my mother that flatly. She blinked. She recovered. You're being selfish. I'm following Dad's wishes. I left. I took Ethan home. I opened a separate savings account the next day. I transferred the $22,000 into it. I named it Ethan College Fund. I set up automatic transfers from my checking account. $50 every 2 weeks. It wasn't much, but it was what I could afford. The fund would grow. By the time Ethan turned 18, he'd have options. 3 months later, Lisa called me. She needed a favor. Her regular babysitter had canceled. Could I watch the girls for the weekend? Derek had surprised her with a trip to Napa. I said yes. I always said yes to Lisa. That's what I'd been trained to do. The girls stayed at my apartment. They were 8 and 10. Sweet kids. They didn't complain about sharing Ethan's room or sleeping on air mattresses. On Saturday morning, the older one, Madison, asked if she could use my laptop to do homework. I said yes. I was in the kitchen making lunch. I heard Madison talking to her sister. Mom says Aunt Jenny has money now. From Grandpa? Yeah. Mom says it's supposed to be for Ethan, but Aunt Jenny will probably spend it on herself. I stood very still. That's mean, the younger one, Olivia, said. Mom says Aunt Jenny's always been bad with money. That's why she doesn't have a house. I walked into the living room. Both girls looked up. I smiled. How's the homework going? Madison closed the laptop. Good. I didn't bring it up with Lisa when she picked up the girls. I didn't see the point. Lisa had made up her mind about who I was. The irresponsible single mother. The one who needed help. The one who made bad choices. What Lisa didn't know was that I'd been working as a freelance forensic accountant for 2 years. I'd started while finishing my degree. Small jobs at first. A lawyer needed someone to trace assets in a divorce case. Then another lawyer. Then a small firm hired me for a fraud investigation. The work was sporadic but well paid. I was good at it. I could see patterns in spreadsheets that other people missed. I could follow money through shell companies and offshore accounts. I could build a case that held up in court. By the time my father died, I was making $78,000 a year. I lived in a small apartment because I was saving. I drove a 12-year-old Honda because it ran fine. I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. Except apparently I did, because my family had decided I was struggling. For months after my father's funeral, my mother called. She wanted to have lunch. Just the two of us. I met her at a cafe near her house. She ordered a salad. I ordered a sandwich. She waited until the food arrived. I've been thinking about Ethan's fund. I put my sandwich down. What about it? Lisa is still upset. I think it would help if you could consider being more flexible. Flexible how? The money is supposed to be for education. Lisa's girls need things too. Dance classes. Sports equipment. Tutoring. Those are educational expenses. I stared at her. Dad left that money to Ethan. Your father didn't understand how much things cost for young families. Lisa and Derek are stretched thin. They drive 2 new cars. They just remodeled their kitchen. My mother's face flushed. That's not fair. You don't know what their expenses are. And you don't know what mine are. You're working part-time at that accounting place. I know what those jobs pay. I smiled. I shouldn't have. But I couldn't help it. I'm not working part-time anywhere. Then what are you doing? I'm consulting. Independently. My mother waved her hand. That's not stable. You need to think about Ethan's future. I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. The conversation ended there. My mother paid the check. She told me to think about what she'd said. I told her I already had. 6 months passed. Lisa stopped inviting me to family dinners. My mother would call to tell me about them afterward. We missed you at Sunday dinner. Lisa made her lasagna. The message was clear. I was being excluded. I was supposed to feel it. I was supposed to come back and apologize and offer to share Ethan's money. I didn't. Instead, I took on more clients. A corporate embezzlement case that paid $42,000. A divorce case involving hidden assets that paid $38,000. I worked nights after Ethan went to bed. I worked weekends while he was at his friend's house. I was building something. Not just for the money. For the proof. I wanted to be so far beyond their assumptions that when they finally found out, there would be no way to diminish it. On Ethan's 6th birthday, my mother sent a card with a $50 bill inside. No mention of a party. No invitation to celebrate. Lisa posted photos on social media of her daughter's birthday parties. Petting zoos. Bounce houses. Dozens of kids. My mother was in every photo, smiling. I threw Ethan a party at a local park. 10 kids from his kindergarten class. A grocery store cake. I'd budgeted $300 for it. The kids had fun. Ethan was happy. That was enough. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't sting. The breaking point came in October, 14 months after my father's death. My mother called. Her voice was tight. I need to talk to you about something serious. Okay. Lisa had to make a difficult decision. She's taking out a loan to cover some expenses. What kind of expenses? Medical bills. Derek's mother had surgery. They're helping with the costs. It's put them in a difficult position. I waited. The thing is, if you were willing to help, it would make a real difference. Just temporarily. A loan from Ethan's fund. They'd pay it back. No. You didn't even think about it. I don't need to. That money is for Ethan. My mother's voice went cold. Your father would be ashamed of how selfish you've become. I hung up. My hands were shaking. I called Howard Brennan. I told him what my mother had asked. He was quiet for a moment. Jennifer, I need to tell you something. Your sister contacted me 2 months ago. She wanted to know if there was any way to contest the designation of the trust. My stomach dropped. What did you tell her? I told her the trust is ironclad. Your father was very specific. The money is for Ethan's education, with you as the sole trustee. There's no legal mechanism for anyone else to access it. Why didn't you tell me this before? I didn't think she'd pursue it. But if your mother is now involved, you should be prepared. They may try to pressure you. Let them try. I meant it. Over the next 6 weeks, my mother called 4 times. Each call was a variation of the same theme. Lisa needed help. The family needed to stick together. I was being unreasonable. I didn't answer the 4th call. I let it go to voicemail. My mother's voice was clipped. Fine. If this is how you want it to be, don't expect to be included anymore. I wasn't included anyway. Thanksgiving came and went. No invitation. My mother posted a photo of the family dinner. Lisa, Derek, their girls, my mother's sister, and her family. 18 people around the table. Ethan asked why we weren't there. I told him Grandma was having a small gathering this year. He accepted it. He was 6. He didn't know enough to question it. During this time, my work was accelerating. A law firm in the city had hired me as their primary forensic consultant. I was working on 5 active cases. My income had crossed 6 figures. I'd started looking at houses. Nothing big. A 3-bedroom in a decent school district. Something with a yard for Ethan. I hadn't told anyone. Not even my closest friend. I wanted it to be certain before I said anything. But there were close calls. In early December, I ran into my mother at the grocery store. She was with Lisa. I saw them before they saw me. I could have left. I should have left. But Ethan was with me, and he spotted his grandmother. Grandma. He ran to her. My mother's face softened. She hugged him. Hi, sweetheart. Lisa stood behind her. She didn't hug Ethan. She barely looked at me. My mother glanced at my cart. Still shopping at the discount store, I see. It's closer to my apartment. Lisa was just telling me about the girls' Christmas lists. They're asking for so much this year. Kids don't understand money, do they? Ethan tugged my hand. Mom, can we get the cookies? Sure, bud. My mother smiled at him. Are you excited for Christmas? Yeah. Mom says we're getting a real tree this year. My mother looked at me. That's nice. Where are you celebrating? At home. Not coming to the family dinner? I wasn't invited. Lisa finally spoke. You made it clear you didn't want to be part of the family. Ethan's face fell. I put my hand on his shoulder. We'll have our own celebration. My mother leaned down to Ethan. You're always welcome at Grandma's house, sweetheart. Anytime. The implication was clear. Ethan was welcome. I was not. I smiled. We should get going. Nice seeing you. I turned my cart. Ethan followed. As we walked away, I heard Lisa say something to my mother. I didn't catch all of it. Just the end. Still driving that piece of junk. Ethan looked up at me. Is our car a piece of junk? No. It gets us where we need to go. Then why didn't Lisa say that? Sometimes people say things that aren't nice. Why? I didn't have an answer for that. That night, after Ethan was asleep, I opened my laptop. I checked the balance on my business account. $147,000. I checked the savings account I'd been building for the house down payment. $62,000. I checked Ethan's college fund. $24,800. The original $22,000 plus my contributions and interest. I pulled up the listing I'd been watching. A 3-bedroom house. Good bones. Needs some updating. Backyard with a swing set. Asking price $260,000. I'd been pre-approved for a mortgage. The seller had accepted my offer 3 days ago. I was scheduled to close in January. I hadn't told anyone because I wanted it to be real first. But also because I knew what would happen when my family found out. They'd find a way to make it about them. Lisa would say I should have helped her instead of buying a house. My mother would say I was showing off. Neither of them would be happy for me. The second close call happened a week before Christmas. My mother called. I almost didn't answer. But it was 10 at night. Late for her. I thought something might be wrong. Hello, Jennifer. I'm glad you picked up. Is everything okay? I need to ask you something. It's important. I waited. How much do you have in Ethan's fund right now? My chest tightened. Why? Just answer the question. The amount Dad left. Nothing more. I've been adding to it. Small amounts. How much total? I'm not discussing this. Lisa needs $20,000. Derek's company is downsizing. He might lose his job. They need a buffer. I closed my eyes. I'm sorry to hear that. But I can't help. Can't or won't. Both. You have the money. That money is for Ethan. Ethan is 6 years old. He doesn't need it right now. Lisa needs it now. She's your sister. She hasn't spoken to me in months. Because you've been selfish and stubborn. This is your chance to make it right. I took a breath. I'm not giving Lisa money from Ethan's fund. If she needs a loan, she can go to a bank. Banks won't give them a loan. Their credit cards are maxed out. That confirmed what I'd suspected. Lisa and Derek were living beyond their means. The new cars. The kitchen remodel. The expensive birthday parties. They were drowning in debt. That's not my problem. It will be your problem when the family falls apart because you refuse to help. The family fell apart when you decided I didn't matter unless I did what you wanted. My mother was silent. Then, you've changed. You're not the daughter I raised. You're right. I'm not. I hung up. My hands were shaking again. I called Howard Brennan the next morning. I told him about the conversation. He sighed. Jennifer, I want you to do something for me. I want you to check the account balance on Ethan's fund. Right now. I pulled up the account on my phone. The balance was correct. $24,800. It's fine. Good. I'm going to send you some paperwork. I want you to add an additional layer of security to the account. 2-factor authentication. Alerts for any access attempts. Can you do that today? You think they'd try to access it? I think desperate people do desperate things. Your sister has your father's name. She might try to claim she's a co-trustee. I want to make sure that can't happen. I set up the security measures that afternoon. The third close call was at the mall. The same mall where I'd eventually bring Ethan to see Santa. I was there buying Christmas presents, wrapping paper, and a new winter coat for Ethan. I was in line at the checkout when I heard someone call my name. I turned. Derek. Lisa's husband. Hey, Jennifer. Hi, Derek. He looked uncomfortable. Can we talk for a minute? I paid for my items. We walked toward the food court. Derek bought a coffee. I didn't get anything. We sat at a table near the back. Derek stirred his coffee. Lisa doesn't know I'm talking to you. Okay. I need you to understand something. We're in trouble. Real trouble. I didn't lose my job yet, but they're cutting hours. Lisa's part-time income isn't enough. We've got 2 mortgages. 2. We refinanced last year. Took out equity to pay off the credit cards. But the credit cards are maxed again. I didn't say anything. I'm not asking for Ethan's money. I know that's off limits. But do you have anything else? Anything you could loan us? We'd pay you back. I thought about the $62,000 sitting in my house down payment account. I thought about the offer I'd made. The closing date in January. I thought about Ethan's face when I'd told him we were getting a house with a yard. I don't have anything to loan. Derek looked at me. Really looked. You're doing better than you let on, aren't you? I met his eyes. I'm doing fine. How fine? That's not your business. He laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. Lisa was right. You've been holding out on us. I haven't been holding out on anyone. I've been working. Building a life for my son. While we struggle. Your struggles aren't my fault, Derek. You made choices. I made different choices. He stood up. When Lisa finds out you've been sitting on money while we're drowning, she's going to lose it. I'm not sitting on anything. And I don't owe you an explanation. Derek left. I sat there for 10 more minutes. My heart was racing. I knew what was coming. Derek would tell Lisa. Lisa would tell my mother. They'd all decide I'd betrayed them. But I hadn't done anything wrong. I'd worked. I'd saved. I'd been smart with money. I'd built something stable for Ethan. That wasn't betrayal. That was survival. I went home that night and pulled out the folder with all the closing documents for the house. I read through them. I checked every number. Everything was in order. The house would be mine in 3 weeks. I just had to get through Christmas first. December 20th arrived. The mall was decorated for the season. Garland wrapped around every column. A massive tree stood in the center court. The line for Santa stretched 30 feet. Ethan held my hand as we joined it. He was buzzing with excitement. Do you think Santa will remember me from last year? Maybe. What are you going to ask for? I don't know yet. I want to surprise him. We moved forward in line. Slowly. Parents with strollers. Toddlers in elf costumes. The energy was chaotic but cheerful. I checked my phone. A text from Howard Brennan. Closing scheduled for January 9th. All documents ready for signature. I typed back. Confirmed. Ethan tugged my sleeve. Mom, look. I looked up. Lisa. Derek. Their 2 daughters. 20 feet ahead of us in line. My stomach tightened. Lisa saw me at the same moment. Her face went blank. She said something to Derek. He turned. Looked at me. Looked away. Ethan waved. Madison. Olivia. The girls turned. They waved back. Lisa put her hand on Madison's shoulder, guiding her forward. The message was clear. Don't engage. Ethan's smile faded. Why didn't Aunt Lisa say hi? She's busy with the girls. But she saw us. I know, bud. We moved forward. The line bent around a display of mechanical reindeer. Lisa's family reached Santa first. I watched Madison sit on Santa's lap. She talked for maybe 30 seconds. Santa nodded. Handed her a candy cane. Next was Olivia. Same routine. Quick. Efficient. Lisa took photos with her phone. Then they were done. They walked past us to leave. Lisa didn't look at me. Derek glanced over once. His expression was unreadable. The girls waved at Ethan. He waved back. Why are they leaving without saying anything? Sometimes people are in a hurry. But it's Christmas. I know. We reached the front of the line. Santa was a younger guy. Probably mid-30s. Good beard. Patient smile. He waved Ethan forward. Come on up, buddy. Ethan climbed onto his lap. Santa adjusted his hat. What's your name? Ethan. Nice to meet you, Ethan. Have you been good this year? Yes. That's what I like to hear. What can Santa bring you for Christmas? Ethan paused. Then he said it. I want my college money back. My aunt took it. I froze. Santa blinked. Your what? My college money. My aunt took it. I stepped forward. Ethan. But he kept going. She took the $22,000 Grandpa left me and bought a car. Santa looked at me. I looked at Ethan. My son's face was completely serious. Ethan, that's not. A voice behind me. He doesn't know what he's saying. I turned. Lisa. She'd come back. She was standing 3 feet away. Her face was tight. Ethan looked at her. Yes, I do. You took my money. Lisa's voice went higher. Jennifer, what did you tell him? I didn't tell him anything. Then why is he saying this? Santa raised his hand. Folks, maybe we should. Ethan kept going. Mom showed me the bank statement. It said $22,000. Then it said 0. She said you took it. Lisa's face flushed. That is a lie. It's not a lie. Mom doesn't lie. Santa looked around. A mall security guard was standing near the reindeer display. Santa waved him over. The guard approached. Middle-aged. Calm demeanor. What's going on? Santa gestured to me and Lisa. These two need to sort something out. Away from the kids. Lisa grabbed my arm. You put him up to this. I pulled away. I did not put him up to anything. Then how does he know about the money? Because he asked me why his college fund was empty. I told him the truth. The security guard stepped between us. Ladies, let's take this somewhere else. Ethan was still on Santa's lap. Santa looked uncomfortable. Buddy, why don't you go stand with your mom? Ethan climbed down. He walked to me. I put my hand on his shoulder. The guard looked at Lisa. Did you take money from a child's account? That is none of your business. It became my business when it was announced in front of 50 people. Derek appeared. He'd been watching from a distance. Lisa, let's go. Lisa shook her head. No. She's been lying to everyone. Making me look like a thief. The guard crossed his arms. Did you take money from the account or not? The money was supposed to be for the family. Her father didn't understand. So you did take it. Lisa stopped. She looked at Derek. Derek's jaw was set. He wouldn't look at her. I spoke carefully. The money was left in a trust. For Ethan's education. With me as the sole trustee. My sister had no legal access to it. The guard looked at Lisa. How did you access it? Lisa's hands were shaking. I didn't access anything. I asked Jennifer to loan us money from the fund. She refused. Then how does the kid think you took it? Lisa looked at me. Her eyes were desperate. Tell them the truth. I met her gaze. The truth is that you've been pressuring me for months to give you money from Ethan's fund. You convinced Mom to join in. You sent Derek to ambush me at this mall 2 weeks ago. When I refused every time, you decided I was the problem. Derek's head snapped up. I didn't ambush you. You cornered me in the food court. Asked if I had anything to loan. I said no. You said Lisa would lose it when she found out I was sitting on money. The guard held up his hand. Okay. This is beyond mall security. You need to. I cut him off. Ask who owns the house. Everyone stopped. Lisa stared at me. What? Ask who owns the house. The guard looked confused. What house? The house my sister and her husband live in. The 5-bedroom colonial in Riverside Estates. Ask who's on the deed. Derek's face changed. How do you know about? Because I looked it up. Public records. You refinanced last year. Took out $130,000 in equity. The bank owns 70% of that house. You're underwater. Lisa's voice came out strangled. You had no right. I had every right. You were trying to take my son's money. I needed to know why. The guard looked at Derek. Is that true? Derek didn't answer. I kept going. You want to know how I know all this? Because I'm a forensic accountant. I trace assets for a living. I work with lawyers and courts. I find money people try to hide. It took me 20 minutes to pull your financial history. Lisa took a step back. You're lying. I'm not. And if you want to keep pushing this, I can pull a lot more. Your credit card debt. Your car loans. The second mortgage you haven't told your mother about. Derek grabbed Lisa's arm. We're leaving. Lisa jerked away from him. No. She's been playing us. Acting poor while I what? Worked? Built a career? Saved money? What exactly did I do wrong, Lisa? You let us struggle. Your struggle is not my responsibility. The guard stepped in again. Okay. This conversation needs to happen somewhere else. Both of you need to leave. I nodded. We're going. I took Ethan's hand. We walked toward the exit. Behind me, I heard Lisa's voice. High and breaking. Mom is going to hear about this. I didn't turn around. In the car, Ethan was quiet. I started the engine. Pulled out of the parking lot. After 5 minutes, he spoke. Did I do something bad? No, bud. You didn't do anything bad. Aunt Lisa was mad. Aunt Lisa was surprised. Why? I glanced at him in the rearview mirror. Because you told the truth. Is telling the truth bad? Not ever. He was quiet again. Then, is Aunt Lisa really a thief? I exhaled slowly. Aunt Lisa made some bad choices. She wanted money that wasn't hers. That's not the same as stealing, but it's not right either. So I don't have college money anymore? You have every dollar Grandpa left you. It's safe. No one can touch it. Okay, that was it. He moved on. Started talking about what he wanted for Christmas. A new bike. Some books. I half listened. My hands were tight on the steering wheel. I knew what was coming next. My phone rang as soon as we got home. My mother. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. I let it go again. The third time I answered. Hello. What did you do? Hi, Mom. Lisa just called me. She's hysterical. She said you humiliated her in front of a mall full of people. I didn't humiliate anyone. Ethan told Santa that his college fund was empty. Lisa panicked. You told him that? He's 6 years old. He asked me a direct question. I answered it. You should have told him it was complicated. You didn't need to involve him. I didn't involve him. He involved himself. My mother's voice went cold. Lisa said you accused her of stealing. I said she'd been pressuring me for money from the fund. Which is true. That money should have been shared with the whole family. Dad didn't leave it to the whole family. He left it to Ethan. Your father didn't understand what he was doing. He was sick. I closed my eyes. Dad had a heart attack. He wasn't mentally impaired. He knew exactly what he was doing. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. Honest? You've been lying to all of us. Lisa said you claimed to be some kind of accountant. I am an accountant. A forensic accountant. I've been doing it for years. Silence. Then, why didn't you tell us? Because you never asked. You decided I was struggling. You decided I needed help. You never once asked what I actually did for a living. If you were doing so well, you should have helped your sister. Lisa's problems are not my fault. She and Derek made choices. They spent money they didn't have. That's on them. Family helps family. Family respects family. You haven't respected me in years. My mother's voice cracked. Is that what you think? It's what I know. We invited you to everything. You invited me to watch Lisa's life. To see what I didn't have. To feel like I wasn't enough. That's not true. Then why wasn't I invited to Thanksgiving? Silence again. You made your choice clear, Mom. I wasn't part of the family unless I gave Lisa what she wanted. I refused. So I was out. You're being dramatic. I'm being factual. I heard her take a breath. What do you want from me? Nothing. I don't want anything from you. Then why are we having this conversation? Because you called me. She hung up. I sat on my couch. Ethan was in his room playing. I could hear the sound of his toy cars on the floor. I opened my laptop. I pulled up Howard Brennan's email. The closing documents were attached. I read through them again. The house would be mine in 3 weeks. I called Howard. He picked up on the second ring. Jennifer. How did it go? It went exactly how you'd expect. Meaning, my son announced to Santa and half the mall that my sister took his college money. My sister showed up. Security got involved. I told them to ask who owns her house. Howard laughed. You didn't. I did. How did that go over? About as well as you'd think. My mother just called. She's furious. Are you okay? I'm fine. But I need to ask you something. Go ahead. Can we move up the closing? To when? This week. Before Christmas. Howard was quiet for a moment. That's tight. The seller would have to agree. The title company would have to expedite. Why the rush? Because my family is going to find out about the house eventually. I want it done before they can interfere. They can't interfere. You're the buyer. It's your transaction. I know, but I want it finished. I want it real. Let me make some calls. I'll see what I can do. Thank you. I hung up. I sat there for a long time. Then I opened my email. I started a new message. To my mother. Subject line, what you need to know. I wrote for 20 minutes. I laid it all out. My career. My income. The house I was buying. The life I'd built while they assumed I was failing. I didn't write it to brag. I wrote it because I was done with the assumptions. Done with the dismissals. Done with being treated like I needed saving. I didn't send it. Instead, I saved it to drafts. I'd decide later if it was worth sending. Howard called back 2 hours later. I talked to the seller and the title company. They'll do it. Closing is set for December 23rd. 2 p.m. My chest tightened. That's 3 days from now. You asked for this week. I know. Thank you. Jennifer, are you sure about this? You don't have to rush. I'm sure. Okay. I'll send over the final documents tonight. Review them. Sign them. Bring them to the closing. I will. I hung up. I looked at Ethan's bedroom door. In 3 days, I'd own a house. A house with a yard. A house in a good school district. A house that was mine. I opened my laptop again. I pulled up the email to my mother. I read it one more time. Then I hit send. If you have been watching this unfold and you are not subscribed yet, I am telling you, you are going to want to be here for the next one. What happened after this moment changed everything. My mother called 4 minutes after I sent the email. I didn't answer. She called again. I turned my phone off. The next morning, December 21st, I woke up to 17 missed calls. My mother, Lisa, Derek, even my aunt, my mother's sister, who I hadn't spoken to in 2 years. I deleted the voicemails without listening to them. Ethan had school that day, last day before winter break. I dropped him off and drove to Howard's office. He had the closing documents ready. I sat in his conference room and read through every page. The purchase agreement, the title report, the mortgage documents, the settlement statement. Everything was in order. Howard sat across from me. Your mother tried to call my office this morning. I looked up. What did she want? She wanted to know if I was representing you in a real estate transaction. I told her I couldn't discuss client matters. How did she even get your number? It's on the paperwork from your father's estate. She still has it. I set down the pen. What do you think she'll do? Honestly? I think she'll show up at the closing. Can she stop it? No. She has no legal standing. But she can make it uncomfortable. Let her come. Howard raised his eyebrows. You sure about that? I'm sure. I signed the documents. All of them. Every page that needed my signature. Howard collected them. Put them in a folder. You're really doing this. I really am. Good for you. I drove home. Picked up Ethan from school. He was carrying a paper snowflake he'd made in class. He hung it on the refrigerator with a magnet. Only 4 more days until Christmas. I know, bud. Are we still getting a tree? Tomorrow. We'll get one tomorrow. He grinned. Ran to his room to play. I sat at the kitchen table. My phone was still off. I turned it on. 23 missed calls now. I opened my email. 47 unread messages. Most from my mother and Lisa. I deleted them without reading. One email stood out. From Howard's assistant. Subject, closing confirmed, December 23rd, 2 p.m., First National Title Company. I forwarded it to myself. Then I opened a new message. To Lisa. I know you're angry. I know Mom is angry. But I need you to understand something. I didn't build my career to hurt you. I built it to survive. I built it so Ethan would have options. I'm sorry you're struggling. I'm sorry Derek might lose his job. But your struggles don't erase the years you spent making me feel small. They don't erase the family dinners I wasn't invited to. They don't erase Mom telling me I was selfish for protecting my son's inheritance. I'm done apologizing for doing well. I'm done feeling guilty for being responsible. The house closes in 2 days. You can be angry about it. Or you can accept it. Either way, it's happening. I hit send. December 22nd, I took Ethan to get a Christmas tree. We went to a lot on the edge of town. He picked out a 6-foot Douglas fir. We tied it to the roof of my Honda. Drove home carefully. Set it up in the living room. Spent the evening decorating it with the same ornaments we'd used for years. Ethan stepped back to look at it. It's perfect. It is. Will we have a bigger tree in the new house? I froze. What? The new house. The one you're buying. How do you know about that? He shrugged. I heard you on the phone. You said we're getting a house with a yard. I sat down on the couch. Come here. He sat next to me. Yeah, bud. We're getting a new house. When? Tomorrow. We sign the papers tomorrow. Will I have my own room? You'll have your own room. Can we get a dog? I laughed. Maybe. We'll see. He hugged me. This is the best Christmas ever. I held him. Yeah, it is. That night, after he went to bed, I packed. Not everything. Just the essentials. Clothes. Toiletries. Important documents. I wanted to be ready to move fast after the closing. I didn't know if we'd move in immediately or wait until after Christmas. But I wanted the option. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Hello. Jennifer, it's Derek. I sat down. What do you want? I need to talk to you. Not about money. About Lisa. What about her? She's not doing well. She's barely eating. She won't talk to me. She's convinced you hate her. I don't hate her. Then what do you call this? Self-preservation. Derek was quiet. Then, she told me what happened. All of it. The pressure she put on you. The things she said. I didn't know it was that bad. You were there for some of it. I know. And I went along with it. I'm sorry. Okay. She wants to apologize. She wants to see you. When? Tomorrow. Before your closing. She wants to talk. I thought about it. No. Jennifer. No. I'm done with conversations that go nowhere. I'm done with apologies that don't mean anything. If Lisa wants to apologize, she can write me a letter. After the house closes. After Christmas. When I've had time to breathe. She's your sister. She stopped acting like it a long time ago. Derek sighed. Fair enough. He hung up. December 23rd arrived. Closing day. I woke up at 6. Made coffee. Got Ethan ready. Dropped him off at my friend Sarah's house. Sarah was one of the few people who knew about the house. She'd offered to watch Ethan during the closing. Good luck, she said at the door. Thank you. I drove to the title company. Arrived 15 minutes early. Howard was already there. Waiting in the lobby. You ready? Ready. We walked into the conference room. The seller was already there. An older woman named Patricia Herrera. She was moving to Arizona to be near her daughter. We'd met once before during the inspection. She smiled when she saw me. Congratulations. Thank you. The title agent was a woman named Monica Chen. She had the documents laid out on the table. Stacks of paper. Pens. Post-it flags marking every signature line. We're just waiting for the funds to clear, Monica said. Should be another 10 minutes. I sat down. Howard sat next to me. We waited. At exactly 2 p.m., the door opened. My mother walked in. She was wearing a navy dress. Her hair was done. She looked composed. But her eyes were red. Howard stood. Mrs. Cole, this is a private closing. My mother ignored him. She looked at me. Is it true? I met her gaze. Is what true? That you're buying a house? Yes. With what money? My money. Monica looked uncomfortable. Ma'am, if you're not part of this transaction, I need to ask you to leave. My mother didn't move. How long have you been planning this? 6 months. And you didn't tell me. You didn't ask. I'm your mother. You're the woman who told me I was selfish for protecting my son's inheritance. You're the woman who uninvited me from Thanksgiving. You're the woman who chose Lisa over me every single time it mattered. My mother's face crumpled. That's not fair. It's completely fair. Howard stepped forward. Mrs. Cole, you need to leave. Now. My mother looked at him. Then back at me. If you do this, you're choosing to break this family apart. I stood up. I'm not breaking anything. I'm building something. For me and Ethan. You can be part of it or not. That's your choice. You're just like your father. Stubborn. Selfish. Dad was the only person in this family who ever saw me. So yeah, I'll take that. My mother's hands were shaking. She looked at the documents on the table. At Patricia. At Monica. You're making a mistake. I'm making a choice. She left. The door closed behind her. The room was silent. Patricia spoke first. That was your mother? Yes. I'm sorry. Don't be. Monica cleared her throat. The funds have cleared. We can proceed. I sat back down. Monica walked me through the documents. Page by page. The deed. The mortgage note. The settlement statement. I signed everywhere she pointed. Howard witnessed. Patricia signed her portions. 30 minutes later, it was done. Monica handed me a folder. These are your copies. The deed will be recorded tomorrow. But as of right now, the house is yours. I looked at the folder. My name was on the deed. Jennifer Cole, a single woman. Patricia stood. She reached into her purse. Pulled out a set of keys. Welcome home. I took the keys. They were warm in my hand. Howard shook my hand. Congratulations. Thank you. For everything. You did this yourself. I left the title company. Sat in my car. Looked at the keys. I couldn't stop looking at them. I drove straight to the house. Pulled into the driveway. It was a ranch-style house. Brick. 3 bedrooms. A big backyard. The lawn needed work. The shutters could use paint. But it was mine. I unlocked the front door. Walked inside. The house was empty. The previous owner had moved everything out. My footsteps echoed on the hardwood floors. I walked through every room. The living room with the bay window. The kitchen with the breakfast nook. The 3 bedrooms down the hall. The bathroom with the old tile that I'd eventually replace. The backyard with the oak tree and the rusted swing set. I stood in what would be Ethan's room. Imagined his bed against the far wall. His toys in the corner. His books on the shelf. My phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. How did it go? I typed back. It's done. The house is mine. Congratulations. When can I see it? Tomorrow. Bring Ethan. We're moving in. I sat down on the floor of the empty living room. I stayed there for an hour. Just sitting. Just being in the space. My phone rang. Lisa. I answered. Jennifer. Lisa. Her voice was hoarse. Mom told me what happened at the closing. Okay. She said you wouldn't back down. I wouldn't. Lisa was quiet. I heard her take a shaky breath. I'm sorry. I closed my eyes. For what? For all of it. For pressuring you. For making you feel small. For going along with Mom when she cut you out. For not standing up for you. Okay. That's it? Okay. What do you want me to say, Lisa? I don't know. That you forgive me. That we can fix this. I stood up. Walked to the window. Looked out at the backyard. I don't know if we can fix it. I don't know if I want to. We're sisters. We're related. That's not the same thing. Lisa's voice broke. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But I'm drowning, Jennifer. Derek's losing his job. We're 3 months behind on the mortgage. The credit cards are maxed. I don't know what to do. Sell the house. What? Sell the house. Downsize. Cut your expenses. Stop trying to keep up with people who don't matter. We can't sell. We're underwater. Then talk to the bank. Do a short sale. File bankruptcy if you have to. But stop expecting other people to bail you out. I'm not asking you to bail me out. Yes, you are. That's exactly what you're doing. She was crying now. I don't know how to fix this. You start by taking responsibility. You made choices. Own them. Then make different choices. Can you help me? I paused. Help you how? I don't know. Advice. Something. I'm a forensic accountant. I can look at your finances. Tell you what your options are. But I'm not giving you money. I'm not asking for money. Good. Because the answer would be no. She was quiet. Then, thank you. Don't thank me yet. You might not like what I find. When can we do this? After Christmas. Call me on the 27th. Okay. She hung up. I stood there in my new house. My empty house. I thought about what I'd just agreed to. Helping Lisa. Even after everything. I didn't know if it was the right choice. But it was my choice. I locked up the house. Drove to Sarah's to pick up Ethan. When I pulled up, he was watching for me at the window. He ran outside before I even got out of the car. Did you get it? Did you get the house? I held up the keys. I got it. He screamed. Sarah came to the door, laughing. Can I see it? Ethan asked. Right now? Right now. I looked at Sarah. She grinned. Go. Show him. We drove back to the house. Ethan bounced in his seat the whole way. When we pulled into the driveway, he was out of the car before I even turned off the engine. I unlocked the door. He ran inside. His voice echoed through the empty rooms. Mom, there's a fireplace. And the kitchen is huge. And look at this room. Is this my room? I stood in the doorway. That's your room. He spun in a circle. This is the best day ever. I smiled. Yeah, bud. It is. We spent an hour there, walking through every room, planning where the furniture would go, imagining what it would look like when we were settled. On the drive home, Ethan asked, when are we moving in? Tomorrow. We'll start bringing boxes over tomorrow. Can we sleep here tomorrow night? I thought about it. We had air mattresses. Sleeping bags. Yeah, we can sleep here tomorrow night. Yes. Christmas Eve, we moved in. Not everything. Just the essentials. Clothes. Kitchen supplies. The air mattresses and sleeping bags. Sarah came over to help. By 8 p.m., we had enough set up to spend the night. Ethan and I lay on our air mattresses in the living room. The Christmas tree we decorated was set up in the corner. The lights glowed in the darkness. Mom? Yeah, bud. Is Grandma going to come see our new house? I turned to look at him. I don't know. Do you want her to? I don't know that either. He was quiet. Then, I think she will. Eventually. Why do you think that? Because you're her daughter. And she loves you. It's more complicated than that. Is it? I didn't have an answer. We fell asleep in our new house. On Christmas Eve. In the empty living room with the glowing tree. 2 months later, Lisa and Derek sold their house in a short sale. They moved into a rental. A 3-bedroom townhouse. Half the size of what they'd had. Derek found a new job. Lower pay but stable. Lisa started working full-time at a medical office. I helped them set up a budget. Helped them negotiate with the credit card companies. Helped them understand what bankruptcy would look like if it came to that. They didn't file. They dug out slowly. It took 6 months before they were current on everything. We don't talk often. Maybe once a month. Usually about logistics. The girls' birthdays. Holiday plans. It's cordial. Not warm. But it's something. My mother came to the house in March. She called first. Asked if she could visit. I said yes. She brought Ethan a present. A book about space. He loved it. She didn't apologize. Not directly. But she looked around the house. Saw the pictures on the walls. The furniture we'd picked out. The backyard where Ethan played. You did good, she said. Thank you. I'm sorry I wasn't there for it. Okay. Can I be there for it now? I looked at her. Really looked. She was smaller than I remembered. Older. Tired. You can try. That was enough for her. Ethan's college fund has $31,000 in it now. The original $22,000 plus my contributions and growth. He's 8 years old. By the time he's 18, it'll be over $70,000. Maybe more. I still work as a forensic accountant. My income last year was $134,000. I bought a newer car. A reliable SUV. Nothing flashy. I put 10% of every paycheck into savings. The house is worth more now than when I bought it. I've updated the bathrooms. Painted the exterior. Replaced the fence in the backyard. Ethan is happy. He has friends in the neighborhood. He plays soccer. He's doing well in school. He doesn't ask about his aunt much anymore. When he does, I tell him she's doing better. I don't regret what I did at the mall. I don't regret the closing. I don't regret standing up for myself. I don't hate my sister. I just don't need her validation anymore. My mother visits once a month. We're building something. Slowly. It's not what it was. It might never be. But it's real. So, did I go too far? Or not far enough? Tell me in the comments.